John from Michigan, who gave me a 449 RST. Very weak copy, but I'm glad to meet you. Rig. Homebrew. Homebrew station. $50 vertical antenna. Back to you. Station here also homebrew. Running 2 watts. Regen receiver. Fine business mic. On your 2 watts. Makes it hard. Receiver here is a 3-tuber. So who would think that a small 6AK5 or 6BA6 EF93, EF93 the European number, or a 6AK5 or sorry, a 6AK6 peanut tube could accomplish this kind of performance. But 2 watts is 2 watts, whether it's generated from a transistor, MOSFET, or a tube. It does get out when you have the right conditions and you have a decent antenna. You know, I actually forgot to mention a couple of other important QRP rigs in the other video. The groundbreaking Heathkit HW8 series of transceivers really got a lot of people into QRP, as well as the Ten-Tec, especially the Argonaut transceiver was a tremendous step forward in promoting low power operation. Remember, these radios came out at a time when the 800 and 1000 watt transceiver was being conceived. So it's very interesting to see that some companies decided to go the opposite direction. Of course, the low cost of QRP equipment, especially homebrew QRP equipment, is another reason that there are people that are very interested in this. And remember, Grandpa, with his 01A transmitter and his simple regenerative receiver, was competing against commercial interests that were using multi-kilowatt alternators and spark equipment, and doing very well, by the way, on the shortwaves. So Grandpa himself was the first QRP operator, and he showed that you could do long-distance communications using very low power. So very briefly, I wanted to go over some of the tubes that you could use in these small transmitters. Of course, the 6AK5 or the European EF95 is to the far left. That's the one I'm using in the transmitter. Followed by the 6AU6, which is the EF94, the 6BA6, which is the EF93. And probably the best of the miniatures is the 6AK6. It is a small power tube, and it's capable of quite respectable power in this circuit, probably 3 to 4 watts. On the battery tube side, the 3V4, 3S4, which is the DL94 and the DL92, and the 3A4, which is a little more rare, the DL93. Those are all good tubes for QRP transmitters using battery type filaments. Notice I've got the 50C5 here in the middle. That's an interesting tube, HL92 European. That can be made with off-the-line type circuits. There are some interesting breadboard circuits using the 50C5. And then we have the 6AQ5, which is the EL90. And we start to get into larger tubes like the 12BY7, 6CL6, 5763, and finally the 6360 if you put both sections in parallel. I think these go well beyond the peanut tube transmitter idea, and I would stay with the tubes to the left if you truly want to say you're using a peanut tube. So anyway, I hope this opens your eyes to a completely new and interesting form of QRP operation. That is using a very primitive one-tube receiver and a small one-tube transmitter on 80 meters. You can hear all of the static crashes tonight. We are not operating in the middle of winter with a completely clear band. We're operating in the late summer. There's all kinds of noise, lightning, and it's been raining for the last 3 days here in New Hampshire. Even with these horrendous conditions, with a very modest antenna, a 120-foot long wire antenna with a tuner, up about 30 feet, and this very, very simple equipment, we are able to make contacts. And I would say make contacts just about every session that I try to, as long as we have the right time of day for communications on 80 meters.